All right, hello everyone. So welcome to a new video. Here I am want to go through rock sculpting process. What is that, and is it easy or is it quite difficult for a beginner? So here is my Unreal Engine level that I've been working for quite a while. So you can see here I have a rock, here another one, and there is also background rocks everywhere. All are nanite assets, so no problem with high poly geometry whatsoever. So as you can see here I have one rock, and probably if I go there you can see another variation. Here is another one, and then this one, probably this one and the other one was same, and this is another variation, and I have stuck them together, rotated them, scaled them to make them non-repetitive, and all of them are mostly modular in nature, so you can use them again and again and there will be no issues in using them, and it also saves on performance quite a lot. This idea actually came about because some time ago I wrote a thread on my Instagram account about sculpting and texturing a rock asset, and it did perform well. So people commented on it, people wanted to know more about it, and it's always better to have a video or visual tutorial rather than a written tutorial. So here it is. I'm going to now jump over to Blender and show you the block out, and then we'll go to ZBrush and do the detail pass. Okay, here I'm inside of Blender. So here you can see I have a human size reference that I downloaded from Mixamo, and then you can also use the cube set to roughly around 180 centimeter in the axis, which is Z-axis for Blender, Y-axis for Maya. And so here I'm going to add a simple sphere. So go to Shift A, Mesh, then I'm going to add a UV sphere, then right click and set mode ZZ1. So I want to set its location on the world origin. Then I'm going to scale it up. I'm probably going to stick with its previous location. So Control Z. Okay, I'm going to scale it roughly around what I think it's the size of a mountain rock. So yes. Okay. So looks like we're on the right spot and the subdivisions are okay. I'm actually going to replace it with a high subdivision model inside of ZBrush, but I simply want to have something to work with for now. So here on also don't forget to apply the scale. So Control A, apply scale. Alright. So I'm going to now export this sphere to ZBrush, and I'm going to see you there. I'm inside of ZBrush, so this is my interface, and it might look a bit different from yours, and because I have customized it a bit, and I'll be going through the tools and brushes that we'll be using. And I've also here opened up my PRF reference board. So here it is, and this are a few references of rocks that I've collected from the internet. These are from ArtStation, I guess. This one, and probably this, and all rest of them are probably video game wallpapers that I found online. So okay, so here I have the sphere. This is the ZBrush interface, and here firstly I'm going to tell you which are the most important brushes that we'll be using for rock sculpting. So if you press B on your keyboard, B, so here I have clay tubes, clay buildup, and down here there is this trim dynamic brush, and I'm also gonna be using another brush called this trim smooth border, and most probably you don't have this brush here. So for that, press the comma key on your keyboard. So comma key, this will open up the light box. Then simply scroll to the right. Let's take some time. Scroll to the right. Then click on brushes. Then probably it's loading. And then here it's trims. So here trims. and then here you will find that smooth border brush. So you can select it here, or you can set it to appear on the startup brush menu. And so, alright, so here I have the sphere. So first thing I'm going to do is add more geometry, because if I press Shift F, you can see the wireframe. Here we don't have much geometry to sculpt, and so go to geometry, and the first thing you have the doubt if we should use the subdivision modeling, where you could just press divide, and then you'll have a geometry. That is one choice that you will have, or I can use the mesh. And in most cases of rock sculpting or any form of organic stuff like wood or anything, it's better to use Dynamesh, because you can destroy the geometry and still it will retain the topology. So here I'm going to probably set it to 500 and then just click Dynamesh. Okay, here we have geometry, and now the next thing that I want to do is simply shape it like a rock. So if we go to our Pinterest board, so here you can see that the rocks are some kind of like square shape, or sometimes it's like converging to a smaller shape as it goes upward. So here you can see again, this is like a square shape, this is like oval, and then expanding on the downward portion. So alright, so if I press Ctrl Shift, this will open up the clipping brushes. Then if we click on, and here we have a brush that's called, let me, clipping curve. So if I hold on Ctrl Shift, and if I just pull down, hold and drag the mouse, and if we just release it, it will cut the sphere into all these pieces. So if you notice that if I hold on Ctrl Shift and pull it from down here, and wherever this black to white gradient goes, that part will be cut. So if I release it, yes. So I'm going to quickly shape it up, and I'll see it. Okay, here we have the rough shape of the rock, and from now on I'm going to be using my template, which is from XPPen. The link will be available in the description, and affiliate link. You can go there, and I will earn a bit of commission from that if you wish to buy it from there. And so let's get started with real sculpting. Okay, so now as you can see, we have all the sharp corners, and it doesn't quite actually look like a rock. So for that we need to actually shape it like a rock. So first step, we have to smooth these borders. So for that, as you can guess, we are going to use the trim dynamic brush. So press B, T, and here you can see we have trim dynamics, so trim dynamic brush. And then for the alpha, I'm going to use the square alpha, and here you can see the focal shift. I am going to reduce it quite a bit by -80 around. So I can increase the scale by holding down S, and then I'm going to quickly shape these corners. You can follow along, or you can follow it in real time by reducing the speed to 0.75 or 0.5 times. And I'm going to quickly shape it using my tablet. Okay, so here I've quickly smooth out the edges using the trim dynamic brush, and it looks okay for now, but we still don't have a lot of details to work on. So if we look at our pure reference, okay, you can see we have all these big details, like this piece protruding out here, this one's going inside, and this trapezoid is going outside, and this one's like that too, and similarly here as well. But somehow trying to actually mix all this together, have all these details, and the rest of the small details will be coming from textures, because we don't want to overload the whole rock with details and then messing up all the textures later. So we're going to compromise on that, not a lot of micro details during the sculpting process, and we're actually going to do that during texturing, which will be coming in a later video. Alright, now coming to the details part. Let's simply frame up the model. Okay, and now I just want to add those bigger details on this rock. So for that, let's quickly select a brush now. This time I'm going to use the Creatives brush, so BCT Creatives. Here it already has a brush alpha set to square, and then here I'm again going to reduce the focal shift. Focal shift is basically the brush fall off here. If you reduce it to -100, these two circles are going to become a single one. So now I'm quickly going to sculpt out those bigger details. Like you can see, it's already doing its work. So I'm going to time lapse this part as well, because as you can see, sculpting is quite a time-consuming work. You can put on some music and do this work peacefully, and I'm going to do it slowly because I'm not a fast talker like that, and I'm going to time lapse this, and I'll see you in a bit. Alright, here, so we have finally done the rough sculpting pass over using the Creative brush, and next I'm going to go through how to shape it a little bit more so that it looks more like a rock and less like a clump of wet clay. Okay, so I was done sculpting the rock with Creative's brush. I just had the shapes done, and while I was offline after cutting the video, I did a few tweaks to the rock. Like you can see, the shapes have been kind of pulled out, and it's not something major change. You can go ahead and you can do that as well. I use the Move brush, which is BM and then BMV, which is Move brush, and you can go ahead, set the brush size, and then you can go ahead and increase its dimensions. I just wanted to have some proper shapes like a rock, and previously it was a round shape which was kind of bothering me, so I decided to change it a bit, and here we go. Okay, so let us go back and check our references. So here we have our references, and as you can see, this rock has very blocky shapes. Like you can see, this piece has a bigger piece, then this one stacks over this lower piece, like that. and all these are same. And most of the time these shapes are quite easy to make using a trim smooth border. So let's try to achieve something like this. And I'm not going to completely make a one-to-one copy of this one. I'm just going to show the process which you can use later in your own work. Yeah, so let's do that. For trim smooth border, if you search the brush here, you couldn't find it. I have kept it here by changing its startup location. But for a beginner, if you are trying to find it, just press the comma key on your keyboard. This will open the light box and click on brush, and then just slide the menu until you see trims. So here it is trim, and there you will find trim smooth border. So you can select it from here, or you can go here after you set it for startup menu, and just click it and select the square alpha. And yeah. So here again, I'm going to change the focal length to minus 19, minus 95. Now I'm going to sculpt it. So for blocky shapes, just use it wisely, because if you go overboard, the seams are going, the entire silhouette of the rock is going to get messed up. So just be careful how you go about sculpting it. Just be patient, do it slowly, and definitely look your references. I have done this sculpting process quite a few times now, so I'm just taking it slowly, and you can follow along. And I'm going to time lapse this process, and I'll see you in a bit. So I've gone ahead and sculpted this side of the rock, and I could have done the entire rock, but since it is a tutorial, I might just finish the rock after ending this video. But I just want to show my workflow while sculpting any form of rock asset, and you can definitely take your time, complete your rock sculpt the rock asset till this point, and then continue watching the video. But I just want to show you the process. So as you can see here, I have done my part of sculpting, and this set is not done at all. So another tool that I want to introduce to you is the orientation tool, which you can see here, or if you can find it, then here you can go to picker and you can find it here. So picker is under orientation. So this is basically rotating the brush. So if I, let's say, set this to a very sharp angle like this, or maybe something like this. Let's see, yeah, this one. So now if I drag this one, you can see there is this sharp line that goes along with it. So it's very useful for rock sculpting actually. Like let's say I want some sharp edges going across. These are quite good. And let's say you have made this level of detailing like here, or maybe here as well. Let's add a little bit. So here. This thing is super powerful when it comes to rock sculpting, and I haven't seen a lot of people actually using this, so probably I guess this will help a lot of people. So yeah, so here is another. Yeah. So after you have done this level of detailing, let's say you want to continue sculpting. So if you want to reset this, just hit on this continuous one. So yeah, okay, so here we are finally on the last stage of our sculpting pass, and as you can see, I have gone quite a far ahead and sculpted these details across our rock mesh. And as you can see, these sculpted details are quite ununiform. As you can see, there are some these square shapes, there are a bit of ununiformity. So these kinds of things can really ruin your sculpting workflow. And so for that, this is the last brush that I'm going to introduce during this sculpting session, and with that we are going to conclude this sculpting process. So for starters, hold on the comma key, and here you will open up the light box, and if you go to brushes, you can see all these brushes that come along with ZBrush. And if I scroll down here, I'm going to find a brush pack which is called Orb Brush, which is basically a free brush pack available on Gumroad. I have forgotten the name of the creator, but here it is, Orb Brush Pack. The link will be in the description. This brush pack is available for both ZBrush and Blender. So if you are using Blender for this tutorial, so you can use that as well. And here I'm going to use this brush, Orb Flatten. As you can see, there are lots of brushes that you can use, but I'm interested in this one, Orb Flatten. So click on here and select the alpha 28, and I'll show you here. Let's take this part. So if I start from this flat face and start sculpting, you can see that the brush samples that flat face and then makes all the rest of the part flat. So it's pretty cool actually to add flat faces, because as you can see, rocks doesn't have this much of ununiform details. Alright guys, so here we are finally at the end of our rock sculpting session, and as you can see, I have sculpted almost all the details, and most of these are bigger details. And as I have said earlier, if you go about making all those granular details, there is a chance that the details might just come out to be blurred, and while you do the backs, the results might just get more worse. Because as you can see, if I go to wireframe view, which is Shift F, you can see we do have a lot of geometry here, but still the granular details might just be the size of this quads. And if you try adding all those granular details right onto those pixels, there's a chance that they might not get to the desired result. And there is always an option to subdivide it more and more, or maybe just dynamize it again. So I'm already here at 4.4 million, so if I do that, my PC is just gonna crash. And so before concluding the video, I just want to go over one last part, which is if you go to Lightbox by pressing the comma key, And if I open up the brush panel, and now if again I gonna open up the Orb brush patch, so here as you can see we have all these cracks and this rock detail. For instance, if we just want to deform the rock by some amount, so if I click on those and if I just drag the mouse, or if you're using a graphic tablet, then just use your pen, and if I just click, hold and drag, you can see that I can just add a little bit of details that just make it less computer generated. So you can go ahead and do that. And there's also these brushes like this cracks brush, so if I hold down and if I just, you can just add these details and sculpt over, but I'm not gonna do that because to my taste this rock already look quite good, and I'm just gonna add this bigger details to just add a little bit of irregularity here and there. So as you can see here, I'm adding I might just add details here again, a little bit here as well. Just make sure to remove the flat faces by adding this detail, because they might just distract the viewer from its all this organic look by if you have a lot of flat faces without any details. So keep it realistic, and yeah. So as you can see, and also while you drag, if you hold the mouse and rotate it, the alpha layer is also going to rotate along with the mouse, so you can use the single alpha layer again and again, and you'll get different results every day. So that's a great addition to that. So here I'm going to, my PC is actually lagging quite a bit right now. I don't know what's the problem, but probably it's because of this high poly mesh. While I was sculpting my rocks for the game level that I was making, the rock was not even 1 million. I just kept it low poly and added most of the details to texture maps. So this could be the first sculpted rock which has so much detail, and everything is so dense that my PC might just crash if I go overboard. So yeah, so I'm just gonna add one more time here. That's it. That's it. And with that out of the way, I guess this is the final rock asset that you can see on your screen. And if you have followed along and you have reached this point, and so congratulations, you have made it through. And the next part of the tutorial will be coming very soon, so if you haven't subscribed the channel yet, so please do. If you are following this channel for quite a while, give a like to this video, share with your friends, and in the next video I'm going to go about decimating this rock asset, texture it, and then we're going to place it inside the game level. So it's going to be a real fun tutorial, and it's all going to be about texturing this rock asset. We're going to make it game ready, make the UV maps ready for these assets, and we'll just go through the process of how to make this game asset creation to be less and less painful, because as you have seen in most of these YouTube tutorials, they make it sound quite difficult, and there is not a lot of tutorials where you will just go step by step, and they will show just like time lapses of those processes. So here I have tried my best to keep the process clear and simple, and it's not possible to show you all the bits and bytes of the sculpting process, because it's quite a long process, and so I have time lapse the sculpting steps. And yeah, so I'll see you in the next video. Until then, have a great day, and I'll see you next one. Bye bye.